Welcome to the Dukes of Sports. I'm Randy Lively.
With Paul Perry.
And here we are again.
Yeah.
We've got one whole week of football behind us.
Yeah, I thought it was a great weekend for football.
Yeah, well, some of the games were good. Others that I thought would be better, I thought were kind of ho-hum.
Yeah.
But the Patriots won.
Yeah, and they like I'm still not going to do my commitment until after this week. Give me 2 weeks.
Okay.
I saw a lot of good stuff.
I did.
And I didn't see anything to worry about yet.
I do.
Well, we can talk about that if you'd like.
Sure.
Have your opinion
Well,
on it.
the good thing, let's start with that, for me, was I think number one was Ridley running. Went for, 125 yards. He averaged, I think, around 6 yards a carry. Not too shabby.
No?
I'll take that every week. Brady, I thought, was okay. Maybe give him a B. He wasn't spectacular, but he did a good job. You know, it wasn't Brady-esque numbers that we're used to. My biggest concern still, well, I felt a little better about the offensive line. They obviously run blocked well. Brady did get nailed a couple of times pretty good.
It's pro football. Those other guys are fast too.
Right.
You know?
What bothers me is they weren't playing against any juggernaut.
No.
If the Titans make the playoffs, I'm going to be real surprised based off of what
But those are the type of teams you want to play to get your feet wet in the line and stuff, you know, and you're gonna get beat. And the reason what I just said I was getting beat is, like I say, these other teams, they got players too, and you can only block so many times, and hopefully you don't. It's it's a numbers game there too.
Yeah, but again, I'm a little bit still concerned about that. Now, the defense, I thought the best play of the game came from the defense. Did you watch the whole game? Or?
I didn't miss too much of it,
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Well, did you see the sack by Jones?
Definitely, Jones and
then
Hightower.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful highlight. You know, pun in words, Hightower highlight, to show what can happen with two young rookies, and that looks very good.
Now,
but in one game again.
The thing that concerns me is that other than that, I didn't see a whole lot of pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. I don't know if there was any other sacks in the game. I don't remember seeing them getting hit much.
You know, sports are so statistically now on everything. The hurry-ups are probably almost as good as a sack.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how many there were. I wasn't paying that close attention.
I mean, what did they finally give up for points in that game?
13.
13 points. And one sack, we'll just say, maybe two.
Maybe.
And they still only give up 13 points. Grant, it was the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, that's...
But they only give up 13 points now, at least my math. 13 points would probably be 2 field goals, right?
Or a touchdown and 2 field goals.
But that's what I said. It was 2 field goals is what I meant by... I'm sorry, I know I had meant to say touchdown too. But, so they still maybe didn't have that much. It's hard to say. I guess it's what I said too. It's only at the beginning of the year. This week here should be a decent, easy game too on paper.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals, correct?
Should be.
Yeah.
But what concerns me is week 3.
Who's week 3? On
the road at the Ravens.
Baltimore? Yeah, well, I saw them the other night. Baltimore, they're there every year. Their defense is there every year.
Yeah.
That's what you're worried about.
Well, I'm worried about Brady's safety.
That's what I was saying.
And Baltimore's offense had a tremendous first game. A lot better than the Patriots. And now whether they can maintain that is another thing.
Who Baltimore play? I watched it too.
I can't remember. Might have been Cincinnati, I think.
Bengals, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, come on, then Tennessee and Cincinnati, I mean.
Yeah, well, I think Cincinnati is a better team than Tennessee, but
I didn't see too much difference.
But I just think you're right. The Patriots start off with a couple of cupcakes, and you know, I'm just not sure that they're at this point ready to really compete with some of the other elite teams.
Well, I'll give you that, but there again, it goes my, not argument, my discussions. It's way too early to worry about it. Yes, they got that third game. You know, that's the one year. So in other words, what I think I'm saying, and even the third game could be tight on the sense of too quick to be ready, but at least they got two underachievers first.
Yeah.
Understand? So Belichick and the team has those two games, which just, they're not glorified exhibition, but the team, in other words, they didn't open up with Baltimore and then the Jets, their first two games, right?
Yeah.
So these first two games that they're playing is giving them a cushion to try to get ready for the rest of the season, starting at least with the third game, correct?
Yeah, I just, you know, hopefully Belichick won't let them think that they're better than they are.
I doubt that
based
very
on
much.
playing crap teams.
I don't know, you know, any guy that's ever thought, other than maybe over the years, transferred receivers, they're the only ones that usually come close to gloating with the Patriots. And I didn't mean anyone in particular. I really don't. I'm just saying anybody that's always been in his group from the start, you'd never see those guys gloat.
No, well, I'm not even.
Case of transit.
No, I'm not even talking about publicly. I'm talking about in their own minds.
Well, I'm sure it's the Belichick way and the New England Patriots
because,
way. Come on, how can a team? I mean, this guy is a genius.
Well,
in the organization,
he hasn't been able to beat the damn Giants in 2 Super Bowls.
That's one game, and that's the trouble with football.
Well, but that's what you're getting the big money for.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's won a lot of these other games by being that genius, but he just can't get over the edge, like you just said.
Yeah, Tom Coughlin.
I mean, if he had won one of those two, people would be happier. But to lose both, you know, they look at the negative. It's what I used to say about Bill Parcells, which I still do. If it wasn't for this little foreign kid who couldn't kick a cheap shot field goal for Buffalo, he wouldn't have won 2 Super Bowls. He wouldn't have won 2.
I don't even think he was foreign. I think he was American.
I don't care who it was, but
wide right.
Come on, a chip shot.
Yeah.
You talk about that's what you get paid for. So what I'm saying, and then also that only meant that the game stayed tied. I think his field goal would have won it. Would have won it. So they give Parcells all this macho stuff.
Oh, I know.
He's a football coach. I mean, Mike Holmgren used to be with the Packers, and he was at Seattle. Those guys, I mean, not that Parcells isn't a coach, a good coach, but he
used to be.
Is he a Vince Lombardi?
No.
Vince Lombardi was probably the first in our era, we'll call it, because it was about in the early 60s, when NFL was still just the NFL. He was the first coach that really showed how to coach and win ball games.
Yeah, well, it's a different game back then, too.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
The players weren't making the money. There was no free agency. But
everybody stayed with the team.
But he did a damn good job because it was a smaller league, and you know, I think top to bottom on rosters, you probably had better quality players than you are today. Because it's not diluted.
Without the free agency, you had these guys who stayed there.
Yeah, you had them for as long as you wanted them.
And I think the last team that got that luxury, the last team that I can think of, and you correct me, was the Steelers.
I was going to say Pittsburgh probably.
That was the last team that really got to hold on to their crop. Yeah, and after that, free agency just went nuts. New Orleans Saints, and there again, we don't follow all the teams. We do, we don't. They had a great defense, and I want to say in the early 90s. And all of a sudden, free agency they were they were a top caliber defense. And all of a sudden, free agency just, one guy went to Detroit, this guy went.
Yeah, they go where the money is.
Yeah, and can you blame them?
But, you know, talking about the Steelers, you know, you hear the conversation about Brady, where does he rank, you know, all time, you know, comparing him to, you know, Unitas and
Right.
Joe Montana, da-da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, there's one guy that I really don't think gets the credit he deserves, and that's Terry Bradshaw. And the guy's won 4 Super Bowls. But
you know, I give him credit. If somebody asked me where I thought he was up there, I'd put him up there.
yeah, now you could
His
say
problem was that they claimed, see, he got tabbed of being actually dumb.
yeah, right.
He got tabbed with that. And if you watch, I love to watch him on TV on that hour show.
Yeah.
You know, the NFL's, whichever one it is. He's funny. He's sometimes he tries to be he's a comedian. He admits right on the show he did something wrong the other day, and the guy corrected him, and he turned the guy, "You had to correct me on that, huh?" I mean, usually you don't. The guy corrected him. That's fine. He gave a wrong score or something.
Oh.
It's something as simple as that. And he turned and he goes like this, "You had to correct me on that." I mean, usually you wait till they're off the air. Hey, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Because I've caught one of the greatest.
You think somebody would be talking in his ear when he does that?
They are, I think. But there was one of the top sports announcers in history is Vince Scully.
Yeah.
I was watching.
So you're a guy, yeah.
Watching the Dodgers the other night. Ball was hit to right field, fly ball. Ball's hit to left field, caught by. He said left field, and I'm looking. It was definitely right field. He never corrected himself.
Huh.
He just fluently come out with left field, and the ball went to right field, fly ball. But
Must have been a hell of a wind, huh?
And nobody corrects it. But I mean, some of these guys, they're a little, excuse me, too much on doing little things like that.
Yeah.
But Terry Bradshaw, back to him. You know, I put him up there.
Yeah, I mean, they had a great defense. They had
Yeah.
excellent running game, you know, with Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer.
Yeah.
They had wide receivers with Starworth and Swan. But those receivers are only as good as the quarterback in a lot of cases. If the quarterback doesn't get the ball to him, it doesn't matter how good you are.
Swan was an exception to the case. That get the ball in the area, and Swan would catch it.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
but
great.
still.
But you're right. You got to get it there.
But you don't win 4 Super Bowls
No.
because you're lucky.
No. Or dumb.
Yeah, right.
Or dumb.
Yeah, but you never hear his name mentioned. I mean, how many quarterbacks have won 4 Super Bowls? Montana, maybe?
Well,
Him?
Brady hasn't won 4.
No, should have, but he hasn't.
You sure that Bradshaw's won 4?
I'm pretty sure.
Because it had to be in that 80s.
And, you know, guys, Favre, he didn't win 4. Elway, he didn't win 4.
Favre, to be my opinion, he was just a longevity quarterback. Never wanted to quit.
Oh, yeah, well, no kidding.
I don't consider Favre one of the greatest quarterbacks. My opinion.
Well,
you know, it was just like you just said. If you had give me a question right away without us
Yeah,
talking,
but
Bradshaw or Favre, Bradshaw. No hesitation.
yeah. But Favre, I mean, he's got the numbers, but, you know, if you use Super Bowls as your yardstick,
Right.
of course, if you use Super Bowls as a yardstick, then Dan Marino is nothing.
Right. Or in the other case, Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah.
When he was with the Minnesota Vikings, and then I'm not sure if he got in the Super Bowl with the Giants.
No.
But I mean, he was just a scrambler, and he was probably one of the best scramblers his longevity, and he never got killed.
Yeah.
And he was around. I mean, so did a lot of quarterbacks. But
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, the
only thing on quarterbacks, like you said earlier, is I won't say the only thing is different style of football at the different eras could make a difference. You know, Norm Van Brocklin back in the 50s
Oh, yeah.
for the Rams, and he went to the Eagles, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a lot
You
of
never
good
saw Otto Graham play.
No.
If you did, you were just a kid.
No, the only Brown I remember, my dad was a Cleveland Browns fan.
Right.
And I just remember, and to this day, marvel at what Jimmy Brown did as a running back.
Brown. We used to love to work because in that time, NFL was small. In we used to get the Giants were our home team.
Same with me out in Western Mass.
Right.
It was Channel 3 out of Connecticut.
Right,
And they'd broadcast every Giants game home and away.
That was our home team.
So I got used to watching the Giants with Y.A. Tittle.
Right.
And, even Gifford was playing it.
Oh, I still see Gifford as you said that.
And
when he got hit running down the boom, just went down like a machine.
Yeah. And
one of his buddies did it to him.
Kyle Rote was another receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, they just had a great team. But damn, Jim Brown would run through them like they were butter.
He was just a bull in the china shop. There was no two ways about it.
And then the Packers would still give him fits come the playoffs. But
yeah, the Browns I don't think ever won the championship, did they? With Brown?
God, I don't know, but boy,
I think Paul Brown was the coach.
He was something to watch.
Oh yeah, and we watched, like you said, the Giant games. In those days, they only showed one football game, probably.
Well, yeah. Sunday afternoon, that was it.
So if the Giant, they only played them twice a year.
Yeah,
I think.
But he was.
He was phenomenal.
He was special.
And he quit early.
Yeah, he only played 9-10 years.
Well, and that's a long time. But he quit. He wasn't hurt.
No.
He just said, "That's it. I think I'll go shoot."
I'll go Hollywood.
6 foot. Excuse me, man. I have this little cold.
Yep.
Yeah, go shoot the 6-shooters, and Magnificent Sevens and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he's on the press once in a while. We see him.
Yeah, well, he's a little old now, but
so isn't Bill Russell.
But yeah, and talk about somebody else worth paying money to see.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bradshaw, I just don't think gets.
That's a good point. I won't. I agree with you. I mean, and then there again, like comparisons. If you were talking the same breath, I would put Bradshaw ahead of Farr. Just to talk. I don't want to talk about Farr. If you brought it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy, he doesn't even spell his name the way he pronounces it.
Well, it's like living in a local town here and Bourne. I mean, you don't spell the town Bourne, B-O-R-N. I've heard that before from people.
No, but it should be Favre, not Favre.
Yeah.
But
he fit into the scheme of things with the Packers.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of quarterbacks do that. Patriots.
Yeah,
Patriots.
But even Bart Starr is considered, and I don't know.
Starr didn't throw over 20 yards, though, I don't think, in a game 3 times.
I mean, I don't know that he would match up against Bradshaw. But Bradshaw's usually, you rarely ever hear his name when they're talking about.
Send Bradshaw a little email or something and just tell him how you feel.
Yeah, I lost his email address.
Call him on the phone.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I'll call him on his cell.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that some get a lot of credit, and like you just said, Marino, all the records he set, and everything, but he never won.
No, Trent Dilfer won more Super Bowls than Dan Marino.
That's like talking about baseball and guys who threw no hitters.
Yeah.
I mean, Pedro never threw a no hitter. That mean he
neither did Clemens.
He's not right. So does that mean they're not Hall of Famers?
And and then
it's the same type of argument.
Yeah, but you wonder why they couldn't. And then you got Nolan Ryan that did what, 6, 7 of them?
No hitters?
Yeah.
I don't think it was that many, but it was more than Koufax. So that puts him in the elite right there.
Yeah.
I mean, people always knock Koufax because they said he only had a 5-6 year career.
Yeah, it was 5 or 6.
But he was phenomenal in those 5 or 6 years.
Pretty good 5 or 6 years.
Yes, very good. But they're right. He didn't have the 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
But
well, he's another guy that retired early. He probably could have hung around.
His arm was.
Oh, did it?
I've read, me, I've read a few autobiographies. His arm was, when he pitched, in those days, maybe they were using illegal drugs.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
You know what I'm saying? For the shots and stuff?
Yeah.
and he was doped up. I'm not talking. I'm talking his arm.
Yeah.
That they say he used to have to sit after a game, sit 2-3 hours, taking care of his arm. He was in so much pain, and when he finally quit that year, and he had a hell of a year the year he quit, the last year of his career, but it was just so painful that he couldn't pitch anymore. He did quit because
sometimes you hate to see guys hang on too long. And, Willie Mays comes to mind.
Yep.
Even Juan Marichal. I mean, he ended up with the Red Sox for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean,
right. Tom Seaver did too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. That was a guy who would fun to watch pitch.
Yeah, he was the Mets basically.
Oh well, yeah.
But
Tom, terrific, but I think the Patriots. I think they got off to a good start. I think I don't know that they had any major injuries in the game. That's a positive. Defense was tremendous against the run. But, is that because the Patriots defense was that good, or the Titans offensive line can't run block?
Well, there again, before we even come here, one of us should look up stuff, but the defensive backs and the safeties, I mean, how many yards did they get passing? Because passing yards have exploded in the years.
Well, yeah.
So what was a lot 4 years ago is minimum now. But the defense, like you just said, you were talking the line and the linebackers, but the secondary, how'd they do? I mean,
they did okay. There was maybe one call that they really got away with, and you could attribute it to replacement refs, perhaps.
They're all cheating, though.
Pass interference.
All these teams are going back. You can see it already. They're going back to the holding, the shirts, doing everything. All the teams are going back, and they're saying, go ahead, ref, call it. Because if you don't call it, I'm going to get away with it.
Yeah, but that's kind of stupid in a way, because are those guys going to be able to turn it on and off when the regular ones come back?
I'd say they are.
But no, I mean, there was a legitimate pass interference by the Patriots in their end zone. There was a no call early.
But over the weekend, I saw so many horrible calls.
Oh, yeah, or non-calls.
And I'm not like one of our friends that really hates the officials. I give them a break, but I saw many calls. I should have written them down, didn't have to. But there was, for me to comment on that to you, that it was horrible. And I mean, I saw plays that were just, it was a lot of grabbing and pulling, to what I'm trying to tell you. And that's what they'll do. What they're going to do until they get the full-time replacement, full-time official. They're going to cheat. They all do it. Every team, every defense. You don't hold in line. What do you? Give me a break.
Well, there's probably holding on every play.
That's right. But it just depends how much you cover it up.
But you can't
make it so blatant.
Yeah.
That's about what it amounts to.
But do you know the play I was talking about? It was fairly early in the game.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Nah, the Patriots got away with one for sure there. Yeah. Like I said, it's hard to tell. I mean, they weren't tested by a good quarterback, really, so it's like, the jury's still out.
Yeah. It is jury's still out. It's only one game.
But
I think it's good that they're going to have Arizona.
So
that by the time they play Baltimore, and they say by the time, they got to have some kinks out of the negatives, and I'm sure that they know what their negatives are.
Well, I'm sure if they don't, Belichick won't be bashful about making them aware of it.
Yeah.
Welker had a very quiet game.
It was funny that you said that. We were watching the sports the other night. My wife reads the sports. She doesn't just reads it because it's a paper, but she goes, "Did Welker play Sunday?"
Yeah.
And my answer to her was, I don't know. Well, the news came on right after I said it, and they showed Welker missing the first pass they threw him.
Yeah.
I guess he played. There he is right there. But he's right. Did you? I didn't even realize he played for.
I think he had maybe 3 catches.
Did he?
For.
Well, I know he missed one because it was the first one that I saw.
Well, it wasn't only one. I think there was at least 2. But, and I think it was like ridiculous, like maybe not even 20 yards.
Couldn't even remember.
You know,
I agree.
Gronkowski, Gonzalez both
Those
had
guys,
good games.
gee,
The new guy, Lloyd,
yeah,
pretty good game.
yeah.
And
Except for that first one they threw him, the one he backpedaled.
Yeah.
I mean, he blew that. I mean, completely blew it. The pass went over his head, but it won't. Why? Because he misjudged it in the first place. It made Brady look like he overthrew him.
Right.
Brady, that was a touchdown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he probably wasn't used to.
But after that, he did good.
Yeah, that's except for that first one.
Yeah. And like I said, Ridley had I mean, you couldn't wish for a better game for him.
Yeah.
You know, wish I might have had him on my fantasy team, but if I did, I probably wouldn't have started him anyway. Because
How'd you do this week?
So. Well, I'm still fine tuning.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
Trying to make trades, but I haven't been able to pull one off yet. So, but hey, it's only week 1.
Yeah.
So hey, we're getting pretty close to the midpoint in the show. So we're going to take a very brief break, introduce you to our great underwriters, but don't go away. It's going to be less than 2 minutes. We'll be right back before you know it. So see you soon. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support Community TV. Some of the refreshing and satisfying products offered by Coca-Cola are Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Sprite, Fanta, Dr. Pepper, and Moxie. 125 years and still teaching the world to sing.
Kinlan Grover Real Estate sells and lists more property than any other real estate company on Cape Cod and is pleased to support community television and the Dukes of Sports.
Heritage Floor Covering supports community television and is located in Heritage Park off Route 130 Sandwich. When you look down, we look good. Carpet, vinyl, tile, and laminates. Sales, service, and installation with 40 years experience.
The Sagamore Inn, 1131 Route 6A in Sagamore, is happy to support community television. We are open for lunch and dinner every day and specialize in Italian-American cuisine, fresh native seafood, and specials.
Sandwich Animal Hospital, 492 Route 6A in East Sandwich, is pleased to support community television. We are accredited by the American Animal Hospital Association and offer surgery, dentistry, general, and preventative care. Appointments are available Monday through Saturday, 508-888-2774. Feel free to visit our website.
Sandwich Car Wash is easy to find on Route 130 Sandwich near Coca-Cola, 1.5 miles off Route 6, Exit 2. Save even more with our 1 or 3 month passes for unlimited state-of-the-art washes. We invite you to visit our website, sandwichcarwash.com, open daily.
Welcome back.
Yeah, got a little.
That didn't take long, did it?
No, a little water break.
Yeah.
Support our underwriters. They help bring this show to you.
Absolutely, and not only do that, but in general, they're supporting Sandwich TV too. Hey, you doing high school football?
Yeah. Matter of fact, this weekend we're starting I have a 10-game program with the 2 local towns here in our Sandwich area. We got Bourne High School, defending Division 3A state champions last year.
Super Bowl champs.
And we got Bourne UCT football, Upper Cape Tech, who have a new program. This is their 3rd year in the football program, so they got their growing pains.
Yeah.
So, and we'll be having the games. I'll be videotaping them in regular broadcast, and we'll be showing them at the local cable stations in the town of Bourne and right here in Sandwich. In a little plug here for the Sandwich cable. You people who live in Sandwich, like somebody said, well, I live in Plymouth, I can't watch the games. Well, they're right. You can't watch your cable right now in Bourne when it's being played on their channel 13, 14, and Sandwich, the same thing. But in Sandwich has streaming video. So all you have to do is, you have a computer, is go to the internet and go sandwichtv.org and kind of look a little bit. There'll be a TV screen with categories. Look for, should be Triple P Sports, and it'll have your football game. So if the kids have...
Well, you can do that if you live in Bourne, too.
Yeah, that's right. But it's being shown on the regular broadcast on your Bourne cable company and Sandwich.
But I'm saying if somebody missed it...
you can't watch the... Yeah, you can watch the streaming video.
Yeah.
Anywhere. That's what I was getting at. That Sandwich has supplied a video system that's... And a lot of cable companies have. Right now, Bourne has just been taken over by the town, so they're doing their growing pains also. But if a kid had a grandparent in Florida, and they say, hey, Gramps, watch our football game. Well, how can we watch them? And that's the way to do it. Florida, Plymouth, right next door. So we got, like I say,
sandwichtv.org.
ORG, and it's easy to find. It's right on the main screen. It's a big TV screen. It'll have categories is what you want.
Even I can find it. So.
Yeah, Triple P Sports. There's another one on there, Triple P, which was our hockey program that I did last year.
Yeah.
So this is for the football season. So I'm looking forward to starting in a couple days from now, which is, this is rebroadcasted. So this Friday I'm doing at the Mass Maritime, Bourne UCT versus Pope John Paul II out of Hyannis. Right, I had to think of their name. That's another fairly new school in Hyannis, Catholic private school. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And so I just say to people, my friend Chris here in Sandwich, hope you're listening to the Dukes of Sports, and watch the rebroadcasts of those two high school teams this year.
Yeah, in the same place, sandwichtv.org. You can find all the Dukes of Sports episodes. So if you're really, really, like a Dukes groupie, you can, just go crazy.
And if you get us on Facebook, we'll mention it later. But
we'll mention it right now.
Comments on, I'm sometimes super sensitive, but I mean, I shouldn't be, because I bring out the negative of. There's a lot of things I see negative on sports. So starting with that, we can jump right into college football.
Yeah, well, like Paul was saying, it's facebook.com/Dukes of Sports if you're on Facebook. And we'd love to have you check us out. Hopefully give us a like. And feel free to comment on whatever you see there. And I'm usually pretty good about not resisting the temptation to let it lie. I'll usually give you some sort of an answer. Good, bad, or indifferent. But I did want to just switch over to college football a little bit. They've been playing for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
And
they've been on TV, you mean?
Yeah. Well, they're playing, but most of them, there's a few that actually schedule tough competitive games early. But a lot of them, this is what gets my goat, schedule these poor slob teams. They're not even Division I teams in some cases. I think they're allowed to have one game a year against a lower conference. It's a glorified scrimmage. It'll be 50-something, 60-something to nothing. And
in the scrimmage, they usually stop the guy from running 80 yards.
Yeah, true.
Really. Yeah. If you're having a scrimmage, once the guy gets by, the coaches usually blow the whistle and say, okay. So in other words, scrimmages, you don't count the points.
Yeah.
But in a game, you got to let them run.
Yeah. And the deal with these schools is these lambs that get taken to the slaughter is they get paid.
I think that's the reason they, just like you said,
to travel to these schools. These are schools that, don't have big athletic budgets to begin with. So they get paid, they're compensated, fairly well to travel to get slaughtered.
I think that's what the problem is. I think these smaller schools will take the bite of getting beaten up to play a top D1 team, but the money that they get could pay for a lot of their athletic programs.
Yeah,
and I think they just take it, and that's, and that's it.
I know, but the coaches of these schools say, well, it's a good learning experience for the kids.
It's good to learn to get the hell beat out of you.
Learn how to be humiliated. And my other point that I put on Facebook is, I think they're putting a lot of these kids maybe at risk.
True.
Because they're probably, and I'm guessing, maybe not as big as some of these other schools. They're maybe not quite as quick. That's why they're playing where they're playing. The talent level doesn't compare in most cases, let's say. So you're also putting these kids at risk. Now, to them, maybe they don't care. Maybe they say, oh, good, we get to fly on a plane and we go to Texas or Kansas or wherever. But then, and this goes back to something that was one of your pet peeves about professional teams charging
top dollar
to go watch an exhibition game. Well, isn't that basically what these colleges are doing?
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're full.
They're charging you to watch a scrimmage. Yeah, and
at least the pros, the stands aren't always full.
Well,
people might be paying for the tickets, but they don't go to the game.
Well,
but college, I looked at some of those games that you're talking about, 50-6 and all that. They were filled.
Well, some of these college stadiums hold more than the pro stadiums do.
Oh yeah, I bet you the average D1 is close to 55 to 60,000.
Yeah, I don't know about all of them because UMass is playing D1 now. And
but then where are they now?
Well,
they're at Gillette.
For all their home games?
Oh yeah.
Every one of them?
I'm almost positive that's their home field. Yeah, because they were saying right now because they're supposed to be renovating McGurty. What was that stadium?
McGurk. I don't know.
You're up that way.
Yeah.
I want to say that their home games are definitely Gillette. I don't think I'm wrong on that.
Because they'd have to do a huge renovation there.
Yeah, I remember my son went there, and it just was a football stadium. Actually, graduation was in there.
Yeah.
It's just a cement bowl.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's not even a bowl. It's open on both ends.
And matter of fact, Mr. Bulger was the president that year. I went 96.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Yes. Whitey's little brother.
Yeah.
But I knew they played, I think, their first game against UConn.
I'm almost positive because they were talking to fans, how do you like it? And one guy says, I got season tickets. Now, and they were talking about coming to Gillette.
Yeah.
That's what the cool questions were. How do you feel like watching a game at Gillette? He says, I think it's great. He says, I even got season tickets. So I think I'm right that Gillette will be playing. So that's another population, numbers, attendance. Will they fill the stadium? They're going to have their poor beaten up for a while.
No, they're not. There's no way. They didn't fill the old stadium.
Yeah. Well, this is like going someplace new for a while.
Yeah.
But I don't think they.
But it isn't for the locals. It ain't driving to Amherst anymore.
Well, that's the people they seem to. Well, there was a few, but most of the people they interviewed were our area. Yeah. In other words, if we went.
Well, you don't know who's going to feel the hurt is. Now, granted, the football season's a lot shorter than basketball, but the local bars and restaurants aren't going to be getting they're going to be losing that business
up in the Amherst area. Yeah. Well, I brought that.
But it's only football? It might be 5 games.
I was just going to say the average. I mean, if it's a 10-game season, it's usually split.
Yeah, I mean, at
12-game season.
At most, it might be 6.
Yeah,
6 games.
It is going to hurt the restaurants in the bars, and it's, that's when I said back to the professionals. that the game, you know, they might be sold out like the Red Sox, sold out. But 20,000 people don't go to the games. That means 20,000 cars didn't get parked. 20,000 and 2 hot dogs haven't been bought.
Yeah.
Sodas. And that, you know, you can say you're sold out, which is on paper, you're right. But that's what they always worry about. Same with the strikes. It's a little, they claim they worry. Yeah, they really worry. Big business don't worry. You know.
So, but getting back to the college, so what do you think about this college stuff? I mean,
I think
I don't think the NCAA should even allow it, but I don't think they've got the
money talks,
the balls to do anything about it, because you got ESPN and stuff that's willing to air some of these games, and they'll say, I want a Wednesday night game, and these colleges go, oh, okay, you know.
Other than you bringing it up, how many places have you ever read any articles on what you're talking about? Has anybody ever brought it to anybody's attention? You know, publicized-wise.
God, you'd think somebody should have, must have.
Money talks. And the chancellor of U State is saying, hey, look, we know, you know, it does put us in a bad light when it comes to being slaughtered, but it doesn't hurt to get that extra money. And that's what they all money talks.
Oh, I know, but
that's why I don't think it'll change.
But it just doesn't seem right.
Well, this is no different than, like I'm saying, back to the pros. It ain't right. You pay top dollar for a.
Yeah, but these are college kids now.
Yeah, but still, you know, don't go.
Well, I don't.
No, but you don't have it like there again.
Oh, I don't go to pro
games. Back
games.
to another subject we've said. You want, if people want them, you can stop.
Yeah. But see, I like being able to watch a game at home.
Yeah.
You get instant replay. You don't get. I mean, now they've got all these mega screens at the stadiums and stuff, so they actually can see that. But you know, the cost of a hot dog and a beverage is a lot more reasonable at my house.
Oh, definitely.
Than it is at a ballpark somewhere. And, you know, if I want to get up, I can get up. If I want to go to the restroom.
Want to catch a nap at halftime?
Want to go to the restroom.
Sleep at the stadium?
There's no lines at the restroom.
No. You kind of amazes me.
The parking is
on that aspect.
Easy.
On what you're saying, how with society will just go nuts and out of their way to go to football games and baseball games. And the kid might need an extra pair of shoes this week, and you have to wait until another month or so before we can go get the shoes. Not everybody, but I bet a lot of people are in that sense. And they go to a football game, and same with the Facebook. One of our I don't know, what do we call them? Somebody that writes to us on a Facebook. What do we call those people?
One of our friends.
Well, one of our friends complaining. I think it was a Dan, maybe. If you read it,
yeah.
Him complaining about he was a football junkie.
Yeah.
And he said, and he's right. An average season ticket, I bet you the Patriots decent seat, is probably $150
per game. Yeah.
Per game.
Oh yeah.
So how many home games? Well, say 10. No, it isn't 10.
Well, it's a 8 games.
Well, he was right. You could take that.
8 games, not counting exhibitions.
Right.
10 if you count the exhibitions.
10 exhibitions because you're paying the same money.
And then I don't know what happens come playoff time.
Right, and I don't think the price jacks up. I don't know.
I'm thinking you get to pay.
But like
extra.
he said, take that money, and you can, if you got a man cave, you could have a heck of a stereo system, TV room.
Oh,
with the money.
Andrew's the one who mentioned that.
No, it was another one of our friends.
No, Dan started the ball rolling, but Andrew did mention about his man cave. Yeah.
But that's true. If you took that money, plus I forgot, he'd throw in there the day that you got to be there, how long you're going to be there, your time, the money you pay on parking. So that's why I was going to say my figure, as I was telling you, was low. That $1,500, that ain't much. But you start counting every game that you're going and buying the hot dogs, hamburgers and stuff, parking, you definitely are talking $2,000 to $3,000. You could take that $2,000 to $3,000 and have a heck of a widescreen TV, stereo system, In 1 year.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You probably
And
you probably stocked the bar at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, if you 1 year, then the next year, you stock the bar and invite your neighbors to drink for nothing. But they're right. If you stop and look at the numbers, because I used to go, when I used to go, a long time ago, a ticket was $25 a game. That was Fenway Park. When they moved to Gillette Schaefer Stadium,
Oh, that was a long time ago then.
1972,
Yeah.
it was $50 a ticket, $500 a season ticket. And if anybody has any kind of knowledge of the old Schaefer Stadium and, Foxborough Stadium, they had bench seats, but between the 30 and the 30, on both sides, they had what they call red, white, and blue seats section.
Yeah.
There were actual seats. So when you went in one night to the game and you had seat number 22, that was your seat. And somebody come in and say, hey, you're on my seat. Well, if you go up to the benches, and you and I are small people, and all of a sudden there's some big guy, and they get this little tag that says seat number 22. When you go to sit on 22, you might be on 24 because everybody's squeezed. But we had legit.
Well, the seats at Fenway are narrow, I'll tell you.
That's right, because it's old. But that was how the bench seats were at Schaefer Stadium, because that's what it was called. But when we paid $50 a ticket, and we were there like in the Fenway Park, there was 5 of us. One guy had it under his name, so you could never go to Foxborough and find out that I sat in that seat. It was always under Randy Lively's name, landscaping company. But there was always 5 tickets, and we paid the guy. And they were our tickets, but we got nothing officially to say they were ours. But we had, in the old days there again, the way the setup is right now, Foxborough's Gillette, the home team used to be on the shady side, which is the broadcast side. When they finally moved, as the years went by, they realized, and when they left the field, they used to cross each other to go to the locker rooms. Well, the other side was a sunny field. And they finally realized after a while, for one, their locker room was on the same side as the sun, but when the sun went down in the afternoon, it was still sunny in the visitors' side where they were nice and warm, and your side you were freezing. And that was the home side. But we were 13 rows we were on the 35, 13 rows back. 13.
Not bad.
We could hear the guys talking. That's how close we were, because at that time, the stadium was ended here, and the players were at the door. $50,
So
$500.
So going way back,
Yeah. Might even been $10 back in the 60s.
$500 for a season ticket was probably a lot of money at that time.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't maybe a top flight
Yeah,
product.
I don't disagree with that.
Yet.
I don't disagree with
But
that.
do you remember seeing a running back play by the name of Bob Capadonna?
Capadonna. No, can't replace that.
Yeah, he was an earlier years with the Patriots for a few years.
Okay.
But, I mean, I didn't know the guy, but I went to Northeastern University, and they have the co-op program.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
It takes you 5 years instead of 4, but you spend time working.
On the job.
And while you're working, there's no classes, no nothing. It's a regular full-time job. So when he was at Northeastern, it turned into, they made that his co-op job, was playing running back for the Patriots.
Yeah. I'm surprised I don't remember that name, because
he wasn't
I go back
exactly
to around 62, 63.
Yeah, I mean, he was
When I
not
was
a
a senior.
Hall of Famer or anything. But,
Yeah.
but it's kind of neat to, I mean, he was technically still a student
Yeah.
while he was playing for the Patriots.
I went to National Guards with Jim Nance. Oh, I put it this way: Jim Nance went to National Guards with us, because he was one of these. He just showed up, checked in, and then took off. Back in those days.
Yeah. Well, I was in the Army with
Elvis.
Elvis? No. No, the guy was a linebacker. There was a Jim Youngblood
Oh yeah.
and a Jack Youngblood.
Yeah, Jackie Rams. Los Angeles Rams.
Was the lineman.
Yeah.
The other one was a linebacker. And
Jack was for the Rams, I know.
yeah, and we were down at Fort Benning at the same time. This was basically an officer's program, and he was not happy to be there because he was assured when he was in college, because this was because of ROTC, don't worry about it. You know, it's not going to affect your pro career. You're not going to be taken away. Well, guess what? You know, so he didn't have the best of attitudes, but it was amazing. I mean, this guy's just a linebacker, but you know, and he was good size, but he could still throw the heck out of the football.
Well,
and you think, God, what the hell can the quarterbacks do if this is what a linebacker's doing?
It's a subject that you and I have hit. Do you remember how you just made that comment about he could throw?
Yeah.
And I've commented before that those guys, whatever sport we're talking, they're professionals.
Yeah.
And what you know, they might be a bum in your eyes as a spectator, but these guys are professional. The guy you just mentioned didn't really excel, but on art classes, geez, I wish I could be half as good as him.
Yeah.
And he didn't even make it.
Yeah, but he had a good career. I mean, he wasn't as well known or as
Which
flash.
one was that one now?
Jim Youngblood.
Okay, you're right.
And Jack was the offensive lineman.
Right.
I think he's the one that played a playoff game with a broken leg.
Yeah,
he was a lot flashier, a lot more well known. Jim was a good linebacker. He was a steady linebacker. He had a several year, decent career. But he just, even though it was the same last name, he didn't have the recognition that the other one got. But it was just kind of interesting how you run into people sometime at odd places. I remember when I was a kid.
It's a small world.
Remember Peter and Gordon, the singers?
Yep, singers, yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was on vacation on the Cape, and they were in some bowling alley on the Cape.
Yeah.
Bowling.
Right.
Not entertaining. They were bowling. A couple of British guys, they didn't even know what the hell they were doing.
Bowling.
Yeah. So, hey, we got about 2 minutes left. You got any famous
What?
last words?
No, I hope people watch our show.
Thoughts that are just going to baffle the masses out there, profound.
Yeah, I agreed with you on college, and pro will wait another week. I suppose next week's show I'll say, there again, one thing I'll say about the Patriots, I don't expect them to have a bad year anyways. Whether they get into the Super Bowl.
They say that the Patriots have one of the easiest schedules this year based on one-loss records of the teams they're playing from last year.
Yeah.
But they still got to play the Ravens. I believe they got to play San Francisco. The Jets had I thought a remarkably excellent first game. Not so much on the defensive side. I think they gave up 28, but that offense somehow scored 40-something points against Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, pro football, to be honest with you, the old days, they used to always say anybody can beat you on a given Sunday. Let me make it worse than that. I think everybody can beat everybody now. It isn't even on a given day anymore to a point. Even the lousy teams can beat 3 or 4 teams decent all year.
Yeah.
Before it was like a fluke.
But the Jets coming up with 40-something points. Yeah. They barely scored a touchdown.
Packers lost. They're not going undefeated this year.
San Francisco.
Yeah, they did a little sleeper.
Maybe
they're a sleeper only. They're as far as we can talk from the East Coast to West Coast.
Maybe they weren't just a one-year flash in the pan.
No, they Harbaugh, coach, same as his brother at Baltimore.
Yeah. So, well, hey, we're rounding down to about 10 seconds. So I guess I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you for watching. Tell all your friends, tell everybody you know about us. And hopefully you enjoyed the show. Whoops. And we'll be back the same time, same place next week. And we still have some decent weather going.
Okay, so I'll say goodbye and be a fan.
125 years and still teaching the world to sing. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support the Dukes of Sports. Some of the products offered by Coca-Cola that you can enjoy are Dasani Water, Powerade, Minute Maid Juices, Vitamin Water, Fuse, V8, and Honest Tea.
With 15 offices from the Canal to Provincetown, our experienced and professional agents get the job done, whether you are buying or selling. We also offer summer vacation rentals and can assist in mortgage financing, serving the most buyers and sellers across the entire Cape. Check us out at kinlandgrover.com.
Heritage Floor Covering supports the Dukes of Sports and has a spacious and extensive showroom to browse through. Cheryl and Russell are fully insured and offer free estimates. We sell the best and you pay less. 508-833-7600.
The Sagamore Inn is pleased to support the Dukes of Sports. Feel free to visit our website, SagamoreInnCapeCod.com, for our full menu, catering, and directions. Ask us how you can get a free meal on your next birthday. 508-888-9707.
Dr. Leslie Harmon of Sandwich Animal Hospital, 508-888-2774, gladly supports the Dukes of Sports. We offer lifetime care for dogs, cats, birds, reptiles, rabbits, and more with an on-site diagnostic laboratory, complete pharmacy, medical diets, microchipping, professional grooming, and flea bath appointments. 508-888-8225.
Sandwich Car Wash, Route 130, also does detailing. Express detail in half an hour or less while you wait, or the works by appointment at 508-833-1522, where you can arrange to use Bubbles, our courtesy car. Gift cards available as well. Make a unique gift.